Howdy, everyone. My name's Nicholas, and welcome to the Headliner PodPod. We're a show about podcasts featuring podcasts by podcasters that's hosted by people who help podcasters with their podcasting. On each episode, a few of us folks over at Headliner sit down to play a game that centers around listening to randomly selected clips from over 500 episode submissions we've gotten from podcasters. Why? Well, in order to find what we call Pod Zero. Here are the rules. Each lucky contestant will hear a 60-second clip. They'll then need to pick the correct podcast title out from a lineup of 3 choices before being shown the artwork for that show. Before we get things on the road, though, let's say hi to each of our contestants for today. Starting with Jesse.
Hello.
Next up, we've got Prateek.
Hey, everyone.
Kristy.
Hello.
And Elissa is our producer, who also has an ad read.
Hi, everybody. Did you know that Headliner can help you track your social media success? Anytime you share a video from Make or let us automatically post content to TikTok or YouTube, you can track things like views, likes, comments for quick and easy analysis. To see your social media data, visit make.headliner.app and click the new Analytics tab.
All right, cool. Thank you for that, Elissa. So let's just dive right into things. Jesse, ahoy there. Are you ready?
Ahoy there. I'm ready.
All right, cover them eyeballs.
I had the complaint, I had all the information, and that board sat there and for 10 minutes tried to brainstorm right in front of me, right in front of everybody. They were brainstorming, how can we keep this silent? How can we keep from having to address this? They're like, should we handle it in executive session? Is there a threat of lawsuit here? We got an attorney. Maybe we need to seal it all up. And they were kicking this around, all while maintaining that they had never seen the complaint. They didn't know anything about it. It was total BS. It was so crazy and it was infuriating. And I was sitting like 10 feet away from them. I'm sitting there looking them in the eye and I'm holding this stack of paper and I'm just like, whatever. So finally I just started raising my hand. I'm looking at them just like this. Then good guy on the board, Rich Diod, he said, you know what? Chandler's involved in this situation. His name is on the agenda because it was talking about the letter from Chandler Crouch's attorney or something. They said, so it looks like he has something to say. Chandler, what do you have to say? And I'm like, look at my chest, like, baby, you're about to open a can of worms that is not going to be put back in that can.
He sounded very upset about something, and I don't fully understand what it was, but I also feel bad for him because I've been that upset about stuff before. So I'm just putting it out there, man. I feel you. Anyway, here are your options for today, Jesse. Number 1, The Brit and the Texan. Number 2, The Wolf and the Shepherd. And number 3, Don't Mess with Texas.
What a good motto to live by there at the
Yeah,
end.
that's just good advice.
Yeah, I feel like that's more of like just life advice than a podcast title. Although it would make a great podcast title. I'm feeling drawn to number 1, the Brit and the Texan. While I've only gotten to hear one of these 2 people speak, I'm not sure which of those 2 he would be. But I've seen enough Will Smith videos to know that entanglements are bad and he is worried about it. And so I'm going to go with number 1, the Brit and the Texan, or the Brit and Texan.
All right. I like the way you hunkered down and you made the choice. It is wrong, unfortunately. The correct answer was the Wolf and the Shepherd. I do appreciate you were just like, no, it's the Brit and the Texan. I didn't hear a British voice in there, but by God,
really
if you're saying there's a Brit
Texas voice either,
somewhere,
but
there's a Brit somewhere. So, no, good on you. And it looks like the artwork for this episode is maybe the guest, or maybe that's the British person in the show that may or may not be there. Who knows? But yeah, the correct answer was the Wolf and the Shepherd. This is from the episode Chandler Crouch talking North Texas with Layla Caraway. So there you have it. And here's our show description. The Wolf and the Shepherd podcast features a Texan and a Brit with frequent expert guests discuss various topics, interesting conversations over topics you will not hear from mainstream media covering politics, pop culture, science, technology, society, controversy, history, comedy, music, and whatever else they find interesting. Coming from different Sorry. Coming from different backgrounds, the wolf, the Brit, and the shepherd, the Texan, offers a no-hold-barred approach to all topics, keeping an open mind and giving you a laugh every now and then, keeping it fun and not boring like most podcasts out there. So according to this, the Texan is the shepherd, which I wasn't expecting. So, I don't know, for some reason, I just imagined that would be the wolf.
I mean, don't mess with Texas, don't mess with the wolf. It's kind of like,
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. Apparently they shepherd a lot of things in Texas. I don't know. At any rate, let's just jump over to our next contestant. Prateek, would you like to go next?
Let's do it.
Neat.
Like, what could Gallo possibly put on
To get the
YouTube
younger audience.
that would make them appealing to a 27-year-old who,
Yeah.
you know, finally has gotten a little foothold in their career? They have a little bit of money. They want to learn about wine. What the heck can Gallo offer on
Yeah, maybe
YouTube?
that's why they don't do it.
Maybe. But again, I don't know if that's because there isn't a way or because the people who are doing marketing at Gallo are 40 years old and don't necessarily,
Yeah.
or even older like I am,
And the
and
Gallo
don't
business
know how to,
model
yeah.
was made by older generations. So
Yeah.
they didn't.
So, and maybe it just might be like, okay, what is going to be the next thing? Like, what is going to come after Instagram, YouTube, X? Like, what is the next social media platform that's going to have the biggest impact? And how can wine take a chunk of that and be applicable, I guess?
Well, we'll find out. We'll follow and
We
let the
will.
listeners know if there's anything new out there.
Okay. There's your clip, Prateek. And here are your options. Number 1, The Wonderful World of Wine. Number 2, Total Wine Time. And number 3, Wow, it's wine time.
Well, they're all about wine, and I know they're talking about wine, so I
Yeah.
don't really have much of a guess here. What are the options again?
Okay, so the first one was The Wonderful World of Wine. Number 2, Total Wine Time. And number 3, Wow, it's wine time. You have to imagine the wow is like an Owen Wilson impression, I'm sure. Wow.
Let's go with the first one, Wonderful World of Wine.
Okay, good answer. That is correct.
Nice.
And yeah, by the looks of it, our album art might be episode specific art. They're talking about like social media in the clip. Looks like that's an iPad with a wine website. So yeah, that's close enough. Interesting. And here's a bit about this episode. This is from the show called Hosts Mark Lindsay and Kim Simone Explore All Things Wine with You. Trends, news, education, and so much more. Oh, that's the description. I'm sorry. That makes a lot more sense. Oops. The episode this was actually from was episode 267. YouTube to attract wine drinkers, restaurant wine price updates. So yeah, it looks like they're talking about like using web to grow a wine business. Cool. Interesting. Jumping on over, Kristy, you're up next.
All right, let me see if I can find something goofy to put in front of me, but I don't think I have anything new. Here, I'll just use this Game Shark.
Oh, that's retro, man. What's it a Game Shark for? Is that a Mega Drive one?
It says for 64. It's
Okay.
Yeah, just for the 64 only came out with one.
Yeah. No, I couldn't. It looked like a Sega Genesis cart from where I was sitting.
But at the same time, I was not aware of the struggles that other marginalized groups faced. I think ABLE was really important for me to at least be able to get out of my comfort zone and learn how to support others. And as Gaia was saying, just really learn the true meaning of empathy for other groups of people who are not like me.
Yeah, especially with ABLE working on the grassroots level with the community, it will help me see that there are people out there who care and are just as passionate about the things you're fighting for, because sometimes it can feel like you're just shouting into the void, but being here and just being able to speak with people with the events we do and things like that, it's been really inspiring in order to continue.
Yeah, for sure. And I think another thing is that we all started this in 9th grade. And I remember when we first started, I felt very unsure. Not any offense to all of you guys and to how we're able to come now, but I think I was very unsure of how much impact we could really make.
All right. There is your clip.
Okay.
And Here are your options. Number 1, embracing our differences. Number 2, building belonging. Or number 3, changing course, authentic workplace conversations.
Let's do the last one. I'm gonna lock it
Okay.
in.
Changing course, authentic workplace conversations. So sorry, that's wrong. It was building belonging.
It's all right. It's okay.
Yeah. Hey man, that's a good attitude to take it with.
That's what I'm doing. That's the least I can do.
You didn't have the Game Shark code to get the answer right.
I did not.
So here we go. This is a bit about the show. This was from the episode Able to Make Change at Any Age. Able being all caps, so I'm assuming that's an acronym or something. And our show description is: Building Belonging embraces authentic conversations about DEIB solutions by amplifying the most marginalized voices in the legal industry and exploring spaces others dare not. Join us at the Office for Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging at the New York City Bar Association in building belonging in the legal industry and beyond. So there you have it. And last, it looks like we do have one more. So if everyone would like to huddle together and work together and not just devolve into feudalism by our, like in front of our very eyes, yeah, let's just do that. Let's cover our eyes and not devolve into feudalism. Oh, wait, if we do, though, can we call the episode Family Feudalism? Are we all in agreement with that?
Say it
Cool.
enough times. Eddie, you'll get it.
Cool. Family Feudalism.
So, I mean, if I think of one example, a recent example of someone with whom I'm close was moving through some health challenges, and I really wanted to be there in a specific way for them. And they didn't want me to be there in that way. Like I wanted to, know everything and join in appointments and help, quote unquote, because I thought that was helpful. Well, guess what? They didn't. And I could feel hurt by that.
Yeah.
Because I thought, oh, well, this is how I want to show up as a friend. And this individual has every right to say what they want and need. And that doesn't mean that it's, in the moment it might sting or I might feel disappointment and have all those emotions.
All right. There was your clip. And here are your choices, everyone. Number 1 was mind over matter. Number 2, a helping hand for a happier heart. And number 3, a little bit easier.
I picked something that had alliteration, and I want to pick something that doesn't, so I want to do the last one.
A little
I
bit
also
easier.
kind of like number 3.
Yeah, same here. Let's go for it.
Let's go.
Little bit easier.
All right. So good choice from all of you. Wow, this really decidedly didn't devolve into like some kind of
Family
feudalistic.
feudalism?
Yeah, it didn't. I'm
Yeah.
really disappointed by that. But yes, you are correct. It was a little bit easier. And more specifically, this was from the episode The Myth of Closure. And as you can see, the artwork is very clean and very minimal, which kind of fits, right? The show is called A Bit Easier, so minimalism. Yeah, neat. Mise en scène, whatever, buzzword. And here's our show description. A Little Bit Easier is a video series by Sarah Lang and Pamela Lund. They met when Pam nearly had a work anxiety-driven breakdown and hired Sarah to coach her through it. Not only did Sarah successfully coach her through it, she gave Pam mindset tools and awareness that continue to help her years later. Their goal is to have smart, entertaining conversations that offer you the same tools that Sarah uses with her coaching clients. They want to help you make life feel a little bit easier. So there you go. Pretty interesting stuff. I do like 2 things about that description. 1, it's a video series, apparently, which is so cool. We need more video podcasts. Love them. 2, it just has like a nice little narrative. It doesn't just tell you what the show's about. It kind of tells you why the show is special. And I don't know. I just appreciate that. So with that all out of the way, that was it for our show today. Thank you to everyone for playing. I think you got half of them right? Yeah. So
Sure.
yeah, sure. Let's go with
Nice.
that. More power to you there. And yeah, let's see what we come up with for the next show in a couple of weeks. So thanks for playing and thanks to everyone for listening.